Ladies and gents, welcome to another amazing episode of Versus on Jozeyiah Radio. I'm bringing back someone I haven't seen in 2 years now, since actually my birthday in 2020, and that would be an old video gamer friend of mine, Isaac. He used to come faithfully to when I used to host a video game / group for Action Church. But he would drive all the way here to the Maitland area just to come play. Isaac, so good to have you on the show. Introduce yourself to the people in like a 30-second to minute intro, and then we'll get this party started.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me on. Super honored to be here. I'm just a nerd from Deltona. I'm in marketing. I actually have... I went to UCF for digital media, but the track was game design. So that's a lot of where my heart is. But music today, I'm loving it. Let's do this thing.
Awesome. So I know you have brief knowledge of who Derek Minor and B.o.B is. Just for a brief recap, Derek Minor, formerly known as Pro before he did the name change back in 2012, he was the founder of his own independent record label, Reflection Music Group, and then he got signed by the Craze label to Reach Records for about 2 to 3 years. Released a couple records with them, and then he went back on his own independent and running his own label as well. And then B.o.B, we all know he got his big break when he did Nothing on You with Bruno Mars, and then he started getting in like the hip-hop range for like a couple records there. And then now he's in like that experimental phase and also insinuating that the earth is flat when everyone thought he was crazy. But at the same token, I still think he's a brilliantly talented artist and a definitely underrated rapper in my book. But we're going to be traveling in time backwards to the years 2011 and 2012 when Pro put out his Reach Records debut, Dying to Live, and then B.o.B had put out his sophomore follow-up to The Adventures of Bobby Ray, which is Strange Clouds, which, in my humble opinion, is B.o.B's best record to date. So let's see how it competes with Dying to Live. We're going to be doing this radio executive style. I told Isaac the voting rules before we start. So we're only going to be hearing the first minute and a half of each track and then determining which one we wanted to hear more of, or if we hated it both, negative tie. If we loved both, positive tie. All right, let's get this party started. Round number 1. We're going to be starting with Derek Minor, formerly known as Pro, A Life Worth Dying For.
To push through the pain and not burn as we walk through the fire, see. Though we know there's something much greater than us, our heart's desire tells us the only thing important is us. From life's first cry to our final resting position is a constant jockeying for significance and attention. And as we chase the Grim Reaper with his diamond-covered sickle, or send our brothers to meet him with vanity's pistol, it's clear that we are craving life, yet misdirected, trapped in the snare of night. Who can save us from this dastardly device? Give us purpose as we claw and we fight. This can't be it, I'm sure there's more. Show us a life worth dying for. I'm still dead to the beating on my conscience. Explains a lot when you...
A Life Worth Dying For by Pro, going up against Bombs Away by B.o.B, featuring Morgan Freeman.
As the war between light and darkness continues, heroes and villains become harder to identify. Kindred spirits separated at birth, fighting for their place in time to be solidified. The clock ticks faster and faster while time runs the marathon in this Babylon. But see, the end is only the beginning of the calm before the storm.
I used to dream of success, now success is inadequate. It seems the bigger I get, that's the more they get mad at me. Cause it ain't no rules inside this fight that we battling, and it ain't no leftover scraps. You only eat if you capture it. And I swear it's like a f***ed up reality, but creation needs a devil, the devil needs an advocate, I guess.
And I ain't too big on duality, but you think you know me? You ain't seen the half of me. So fly, no gravity. So high, Mount Everest. And the show must go on, yes, but I don't have to act it. And they don't make a television that handles the frequencies of my channel. And it ain't no computer that can hack it. It just don't have the capacity. Hell no, man, I ain't having it. You hustle, well, we are grand hustle. We mastered it. Y'all working on y'all bachelors. We ball like we athletes. Drink wine out of chalices on Sunday like we Catholics. If this is an embassy, consider me your
Bombs Away by B.o.B featuring Morgan Freeman up against A Life Worth Dying For by Pro. Okay, who I thought had the better intro to their record. This is a tough one because they had that similar thing going for them of a spoken word buildup, sort of orchestral, and then with that banging hip hop beat dropping as soon as like the 30 to minute mark kicks in. And then, of course, more aggressive vocals as it progressed. Pro's, it sounded slightly darker, albeit it does keep your attention just as great. I think it's kind of a cheat code using Morgan Freeman because at this point I think his voice is like kind of like that $1 million voice that you can't really
just for Morgan
exactly.
Yeah.
You can't mess up with that. So for using his own voice and giving me the same intensity, I'm going to be unbiased and go with Pro on this one. Even though I think Bombs Away has more replay value, I think Pro had a lot more work put on his shoulders and he stepped up to the plate. What about you, Isaac?
Yeah, no, I mean, that's a good breakdown there. I also, did notice the good feel. You had a good choice there where, you kind of put them up against each other where they felt similar kind of songs, same kind of like formula there. It's definitely cheating to use Morgan Freeman. So if I'm being unbiased and taking him out of it, I honestly was focusing a little bit more to the production value before the voice. And I had to give it to B.o.B there. I felt it was a little cleaner, I think. Pro's felt a little, I don't know, something about like older, like those sounds felt a bit more even like early 2000s. So I'm going to say for cleaner production value, B.o.B.
Nice. So we got a tied vote on round number 1. So we're going to give a point each to B.o.B and Pro for that one. All right, so getting into round number 2. Now, just so you know, typically on the regular format of the show, like you said, I match the songs stylistically. But this, I'm matching them in order of sequence of the album to see who also sequenced their album order better. All right, so getting into Ray-Bans by B.o.B. Here we go.
Two bottles and chill with all the folk. Hang with all the models and all the centerfolds. Showing off her body, now watch her strike a pose. Trying to get beside me so she can get a hold of the mode by the Ray-Bans. She bought them Ray-Bans, Ray-Bans, Ray-Bans. She bought me Ray-Bans, she bought them Ray-Bans. She bought them Ray-Bans, Ray-Bans, Ray-Bans. Buy me Ray-Bans, Ray-Bans. She wants them Ray-Bans 'cause them bands are gorgeous. She looking for a sponsor and I ain't talking corporate. She after that endorsement. Ever since she saw me on the Forbes list, she be getting zeros from heroes. That Zoros with horses like Mustangs and Porsches imported from Japan. Hey, she from Atlanta but she on that Cali strand. That's that overseas money. Call them Talibans, yeah, she WMD all year, spring to winter. So pencil her in for breakfast, brunch, lunch, and dinner. Ain't no incidentals. She want them bands like a freelance parade all day. Compliments about you. Run up pop bottles and chill with all the folk. Hang with all the models and all the centerfolds. Showing off her body, now watch her strike a pose. Trying to get beside me so she can get a hold of the mode by the Ray-Bans. She bought them Ray-Bans, Ray-Bans, Ray-Bans. Buy me Ray-Bans.
Ray-Bans by B.o.B going up against Mission to Mars by Pro featuring PK One Day.
I am blasting off the Mars and you know I ain't stopping. I am blasting off the Mars and you know I ain't stopping. PK, I'm blasting off to Mars.
Houston, we have a problem.
Soaring like a rocket, but I'm not Kevin Martin. I'm so unashamed for this cross, I got my heart in. He set me ablaze, I'm on fire. Arson, ain't no turning back, boy, I have just departed. It be Looney Tunes to quit Marvin. Martian, yeah, I'm on a mission, I ain't worried about no hate tour. I'm blowing up this gospel with my space modulator. Wait a minute, it's the grace of the king coming floating over opposition. In the marathon running for the cross, I can see the finish line and there ain't no quitting. Everybody wanna rep for the Lord, what you asking for? Boy, yes, I'm with it. I'm so ready for the takeoff, do we have ignition?
Yeah, I'm on the mission. 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 Play in my position. Play in my position. Play in my position. Play in my position.
I am blasting off the Mars and you know I ain't stopping. I am blasting off the Mars and
Mission to Mars by Pro and PK one day up against Ray-Bans by B.o.B. We're going to switch it up and put Isaac in the deep water first.
Oh, I was definitely feeling that. Well, we were just listening to Pro there. That weird little, like, almost like, I don't know, like ghetto hummingbird sound in the background, like, like that was okay. I was vibing that. I really liked that. It was a bit more aggressive. I feel like B.o.B's kind of came off like a bit more like mellow, lighthearted, almost West Coast, and this just kind of came at you. I like the aggression there, so I'm giving it to him.
Nice. Yeah, I definitely have to agree. Ray-Bans definitely had a radio hit flair to it, but Mission to Mars kind of take it up a notch just slightly. And like you said about the sound, I love how you described it. I gotta say, for making a more experimental sound and still being radio friendly, catering to both audiences very, very well. I also got to give it to Pro on that one. So that is a Mission to Mars win. So up 2-1. All right, let's get into round number 3. Full Court Mess by Pro.
Some full court mess if the Lord don't use me. Some a full court mess if the Lord don't use me. Some a full court mess if the Lord don't use me. Running from a trial thinking everything's cool. Some a full court mess if the Lord don't use me. Running from a trial thinking everything's cool. Some
y'all see the way that I am now. Love out for the king, I'ma stand now. Y'all don't know if it wasn't for the lamb now. Ain't no telling what I would be minus his hand now.
When I gang bang, when I slay cane, riding with a chopper, when I chase lanes, when I chase fame, full of hate, man, trying to get a couple holes in my brain, made without face, made without break, man. If I fall to me, would I ever get up? I don't even know why the Lord forgive us. Look at this chance like that he give us. Now I'm prepping for him when I do perform, and I take the storm, and I'm waiting for him, never break for him. Long as the spirit is in me, I let it be great for him. Showing that shame, I take hate for him, even if that mean that I take pain for him. You know I give everything for him.
Some say that they down, but they ain't full. I know it's nothing good inside me. My evil mind used to blind me, till the spirit came to unbind me. Now I'm like, use me, otherwise I'm grinding.
full court mess if the Lord don't use me. Running from a trial thinking everything's cool. Some a full court mess if the Lord don't use me.
Full Court Mess by Pro. I'm going to give Isaac brownie points if he can identify the sample used on the hook.
Ooh, I do not know any sample on the hook.
It's from Lecrae's verse on Go Hard from the Rebel album. Okay. Yep. Anyway, it's going up against So Hard to Breathe by B.o.B.
The fame and everything it dealt. Okay. But the fame is really here just to facilitate the wealth. Okay. But the wealth attracts you haters like mosquitoes to a whale. And the water's getting deeper, so I'm west set out to sail. Okay. Someone called my cell and left a voicemail. They said congratulations on the 1 million record sales. As I'm flipping over furniture, knocking it off the shelf, I told myself I never get too deep to take a breath, but I'm thinking, and it's so hard to breathe. Yeah. And even more so to sleep with.
So Hard to Breathe by B.o.B. up against Full Court Mess by Pro. This is really hard for me. I think both of their build-ups had really nice, smooth flow to them. However, Pro did come with a little more shock value with his switch up into that really high-pitched screaming tone and fast flow in the middle of his first verse. Very Eminem-like when it comes to that kind of switch up. So Hard to Breathe, I can tell again B.o.B. has a really strong grip on a good pop rock-like type of sound and hook that's very instantly catchy. I actually got to go a positive tie on this one because I felt like B.o.B. had the stronger hook and chorus, but Pro had a stronger verse. What about you, Isaac?
Oh, man. I mean, if I'm a radio exec, I'm going to pay attention to what's, like, hot right now. I felt like Pro came in sounding like something that was, like, a mix between DMX and early Linkin Park, right. Which, like, there was a time and place for that. I'm not sure now is it. Yeah. Like, I was kind of vibing that, and I thought it was interesting how they both kind of took a left turn into, like, some guitar and some you know, something other than just the hard 808s. Exactly. But I'm gonna actually have to give it to B.o.B. I kind of wish that they didn't. I wish they had almost stayed with the more mellow guitar and not gone like kind of rock there. But no, that chorus was just smooth enough to be catchy for radio. Yeah.
So y'all know if one person gives a tie, one person gives a deciding vote. The deciding vote overrules. So Isaac takes the overruling vote on this one. So that leads now B.o.B. 2-2, tying up with Pro now. All right, let's get into round number 4. Both of Us by B.o.B. featuring Taylor Swift.
I wish I was strong enough to lift not one but both of us. Someday I will be strong enough to lift not one but both of us.
Ever thought about losing it? When your money's all gone and you lose your whip, you might lose your grip. When the landlord tell you that you're due for rent and the grass so green on the other side, making it wanna run straight through the fence. Open up the fridge about 20 times, but you still can't find no food in it. That's foolishness. And sometimes I wonder why we care so much about the way we look and the way we talk and the way we act and the clothes we bought. How much that costs? Does it even really matter? Cause if life is an uphill battle, we all trying to climb up the same old ladder, in the same boat with the same old paddle. Why so shallow? I'm just asking, what's the pattern to the madness? Everybody in the number one draft pick. Most of us ain't Hollywood actors, but if it's all for one and one for all, then maybe one day we all could ball. Do it one time for the underdogs. Sincerely yours from one of y'all.
I wish I was strong enough.
Both of Us by B.o.B. featuring Taylor Swift up against Get It by Pro.
We in the M off Tillman, posted with Young Jones, yeah, kin up in the building. But I ain't tryna rap to you, I'm just tryna rap to you. For them boys you flogging, we get mad and put the strap to you. Cause homie a go-getter, stacks on deck, in front like a cold killer. Think he gon' live forever, but that won't happen never. Plus playing in these streets, you get a slug through your sweater, so I'm on my grind. Got truth up on my mind, and Jesus on my mouth, I let him know we live and die, tryna be a city light. Got that Jason in my ride, Romans 1:16, unashamed all the time. Hope you feeling the same way, cause you can come up on that guap and die in the same day. Your mama and your cousins been crying at your wake, and the wrath Christ ate and dumped on your plate. Hey, you know what it is. Out with my kin, let them know the truth live. Take you where the hood did it in, bring it back to the block for you again. We in the streets like running off your friends with that Jesus talk again. Back like I never left, Pro, get it in. Let them know the king live while they sipping on gin. I pray to God that you ain't running with cheese. The 4/5 turn your North Face into Swiss cheese.
All right, Get It by Pro, one of my all-time favorites by Pro, up against Both of Us by B.o.B. and Taylor Swift. What you got, Isaac?
Oh, that's not even a debate. Get it. I think both of us lost some points there for me because I do like collabs, and it's cool when you got like that star power. But what I heard, anyways, there wasn't too much like overlap of their parts, and I feel like if there's going to be a collab, a duet, whatever, then you should be able to hear them both at the same time, or the song should feel like both those artists are in the same room. And what I just heard felt like they could have, recorded one part and then recorded another part and then put it together, and that's not really a true collaboration. So get it all day long.
Yeah, Isaac made a brilliant point there. It kind of sounded like Taylor, even though it was original, it sounded like they were using a Taylor sample instead of an original piece of work. And then also, I do love a roller coaster of a ride with soft and high in the same song. That's usually my all-time favorite songs. However, I think like the drop was too steep from the verse to the chorus and then back to the verses again. It felt like two tonally completely different songs trying to be forcefully mashed with each other.
It did feel like two songs.
Yeah. So Get It, even though it didn't have as much variation in the beat, it was a lot more consistent and just a nice kick groove that was just very addictive. So I'm also going to give it to Get It. So that means Pro is up 3 next to B.o.B's 2, I believe, correct? All right, so round number 5.
Actually,
go ahead.
I got just a quick note on Get It. That little like bop sound in the back almost made me feel like when you pop air bubble out of like those little things. It's very satisfying to listen to.
Exactly. Yeah. Very creative sound usage there. I highly agree. All right, Before I Die by Pro.
What's the need for a savior? And this Gucci on my body, thank you, Lord, for its maker. I'm like, it gotta be more than plus living. Benz in the garage, wife with 2 children. Or maybe you'll get lucky, night with 2 women. And on the better money, yeah, that's living. As I pursued what I was told to make my life better. Closer I got, I found out it made my life deader. Journeyed on the Star Trek, begging to be made whole.
Before I Die by Pro, going up against Strange Clouds by B.o.B.
Yeah. Oh, you already know what we gonna do. Hey. Well, if you guessing it's me, you guessed correctly. I just stay with a stallion. You would swear I was an equestrian. I'm ahead up with that pipe, call that Nancy Kerrigan. Stay on the greenest greens, call us vegetarians. You be on that minor league, but we smoke professionally. I do my job exceptionally, on point like a decimalist. The way I ride on the beat, man, I beat up the street, it's done so effortlessly. Yeah, so this can't sleep on me, there's no inception in this. I'm top chef, you top ramen, I'm top shelf. No last call, tell the bartender what you got left. Pour it up, don't stop there. Hold your cup, take a shot, yeah. All night we celebrate, cause we everywhere and you not there. Ha. All we do is pour it up, all night, drinks out.
That's all we do. That's all we do.
And all we do is light it up, all night. All you see is strange clouds.
Strange clouds.
Strange clouds. Yeah. All we do is pour it up, all night, drinks out.
That's all we do.
And all we do is light it up all night. All you see is strange clouds.
Strange clouds.
Strange clouds.
Blue jeans, I'm faded. Minding my own data. Smoking on that strong, that Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's totally you hot as an igloo. Kick back on that Glock, call that jujitsu.
Strange Clouds by B.o.B. featuring a little bit of Lil Wayne, going up against Before I Die by Pro. Clearly, to me, the radio hit is Strange Clouds, but it's nowhere near as deep of a song as Before I Die. Before I Die sounded a lot more cinematic. I like how Pro made it sound like a funeral, and then the hook was just really smooth and nice. And again, not that we haven't heard this subject covered in a million other Christian rap songs, but I still think conceptually it was still very well done, sonically, everything included. Strange Clouds was just biting off the, how should I say, the hard dubstep era of trying to mash it up with a hip-hop trap radio sound. I think they were having a lot of fun. They had a few bars in there, but now I'm stuck because I have to choose between Depth or I think is a stronger radio hit. Because we're trying to play the radio executive game, I'm going to go Strange Clouds, as much as that irks me, because I do like Before I Die more. What about you, Isaac?
Honestly, like ditto. Like you just took everything I was gonna say. Before I Die definitely was more of a song that I'd personally go for. I love the piano. I felt like there was definitely a vibe to it. It wasn't just a song. Like all the elements there were working to tell you something. I felt that was good. But honestly, like the radio ain't ready for that, right? So if we are playing radio exec, then you got to go with them Clouds.
Yeah. Almost like the radio's not ready for certain deep Kendrick Lamar songs or stuff like that. So that's a B.o.B win there. I think they're about neck and neck again, 3-3. So let's get into round number 6. So Good by B.o.B.
Drinking a German beer with a Cuban cigar in the middle of Paris with a Dominican bar. Great head on her shoulder, she probably studied abroad. She transferred to Harvard from King's College in March. She says that I'm her favorite cause she admires the art. Michelangelo with the flow, Picasso with the bar. She's well put together like a piece by Gershwin, Renaissance style. Tonight is picture perfect, so smile and pack your bags real good, baby, cause you'll be gone for a while. Love, tell me how you feel. What's your fantasy, yo? I see it's on the beach down in Mexico. You can put your feet up, be my senorita. We ain't gotta rush, just take it slow. You'll be in the highlight, soaking up the sunlight. Anything you want, it's yours. I'll have you living life like you should. Just say you never had it so good. You never had it so good. Suffering from first class cabin fever. 5-hour layovers from Norway to Egypt. I'm to the point like the pyramids of Giza. Still I'm to the left like the tower out in Pisa. I'm feeling single, baby, I could use a feature. Swagger like Caesar, I'll get you a visa. We can go.
So Good by B.o.B. Very Gym Class Heroes-esque type of sound there. Going up against Pro featuring Jenny Norland with This Can't Be.
Gotta be more than running the streets. I'm surrounded by insanity. This can't be what you meant when you made me. Hey, I know you got some change, and I ain't even gon' lie, I'm trying to get a beer, man. That's what he said to the lady on the avenue. She shrugged her shoulders, said it's dollars about what I could do. So he took it with pride. Hard knock life, he just took it in stride. It's the way it go down in the place he reside. Win some, you lose some, it's a heck of a life. But something in this heart say that this ain't it. The earth that God made is good, I know that it ain't this. Am I the scum of the city like they say I is? I'm made in your image, this is all I get.
Even though it's all that I see, gotta be more than running the streets. I need to be free. Either keeps talking to me. I'm surrounded by insanity. This can't be what you meant when you made me. This can't be what you meant when you. This can't be what you meant when you made me. This can't be when you made me.
I hear you looking for
This Can't Be by Pro and Jenny Norland up against So Good by B.o.B. I like how Pro's beats have a very, almost like throwback, like window shopper 50 Cent type of feel. That very ride in the whip type of vibe. I'm in the same battle again, so I'm going to give it to Isaac first once again because I kind of feel like, again, this is going against depth of what I personally listen to compared to what I think is a clear radio hit.
Actually, I'm going to have to say that's a bit of a tie. This Can't Be definitely felt good, like you said, like, you know, like you're definitely riding around town. So Good, though, kind of sounded a little bit like that one Airplane song, I think that's also his, which, you know, if you know that worked, then this could work too. So, like, as an exec, I know that'll work. This Can't Be feels like something that worked years ago. So if you're going for that kind of like retro vibe, I gotta cut it down the middle for this one.
Nice. Whew. Puts the pressure back on me. If we're talking radio, I gotta give it to B.o.B. Again, just like last round, This Can't Be is something I would personally listen to much more on the regular. But So Good has that instant poppy hook vibe and very simplistic, yet at the same time hard-hitting with the drum line. So I'm going to give that one to B.o.B. So that means for the first time in the competition, I think he overtakes Pro 4-3. So let's get into round number 7, starting with Pro, featuring Jay, Stronger.
I go harder, 'cause I done been knocked down again. But what don't kill me, that make me stronger. Stronger, that make me stronger. Stronger, I gotta live. And ain't no way I'm going back to my sin. I know you live in me and that make me stronger. Stronger, that make me stronger. Stronger.
You say the righteous never get forsaken. Well, help me understand why I feel like an orphan lately. That's such a selfish statement. Look how my heart is patient. You send these trials to make me, but never let them break me. Media haters said that on top of our haters. My homies get glad with bangers. Detractors wanna debate us. And you sustain us, won't let us get devoured by evil. They want us lost and swimming with the sharks, finding Nemo. And even if I die today, this world don't ever change. I give glory to your name, 'cause we own. I ain't talking about the shows they put me in, but through his blood he brought me back. So if I fall to faith, I go harder.
'Cause I done been knocked down again. But what don't kill me, that make me stronger. Stronger, that make me stronger. Stronger, I gotta live. And ain't no way I'm going back to my sin. I know you live in me and that make me stronger.
Stronger by Pro featuring Jay. She used to do a lot of the early Reach Records hooks for them. Surprisingly enough, she's now a co-host on Joyce Meyer's podcast. All right, and that's going to be going up against Play for Keeps by B.o.B.
How much must I repeat? We only play for keeps. No timeouts, no free throws, no refs, no penalties, no handouts, no pit stops, no cheat codes, no sleep. But the drinks are on us. If you with it, then pull up a seat. When you roaming through the jungle, talk is nothing, talk is cheap. Time is money, money is power. Power corrupts eventually. Damn. So what are the options? What are the choices left for me? What are the rules that's left to break? I guess my fate is a quest for me. Man, I'm a dog that ain't got no leash. Man, got a crib, it ain't got no lease. Man, got a flow that ain't got no brain, but I still get brain, no hands, no teeth. Nowadays, all of the killers on the beat. But where I was raised, all of the killers was down the street. Better do your research. Feeling like I fell out of the sky and landed feet first. My squad go hard, my squad go concrete. Watch my team work. Hell yeah, you can tell that boy finna eat, 'cause I took my seat first. 3-course meal, full entree refills, and I want my dessert. So why not make a toast? Tomorrow could always be worse. Now keep them bottles coming by the killer lead turd. And get that Anna off your chest, try to keep a clean shirt. I'm so grand hustle, you ain't even in my league, sir. What's up with these nerds? They be out here getting they salads tossed, getting they leaves turned. The game just ain't what it used to be. The quality is blurred, but a dying breed survive.
Play for Keeps by B.o.B. I think that would have been greatly benefited with an NF feature. I think he would have destroyed that beat. I'm going up against Stronger by Pro and Jay. Ugh. Play for Keeps, I remember, was one of my college roommates' all-time favorites. He would have that looping on repeat, like, for hours on end. But which one? Okay, going back to the radio executive point, only because of that hook, I gotta give it to Pro. That hook was clearly made for radio. Instantaneous, right off the bat, gets you singing along. Play for Keeps is when you want to vibe out with your friends to a nice, neat little freestyle with some hyper elements to it. But from the radio executive point, I got to give it to Pro. What about you?
Yeah, I'm kind of, my mind is going back to like the production again. Playing for Keeps definitely felt like a good concert song. Like I could feel the crowd going for that, but I'm not sure most people's like car radios could pick up some of the intricate sounds that are in there. Stronger definitely comes right at you. But there's also something like, it almost sounds like a song that like even if you only heard it once, it feels overplayed. I don't know. I might be a little biased there, but I think they kind of canceled out for me, to be honest. I'm gonna have to go no go.
Nice, interesting. All right, so that means I get the deciding vote, meaning it's gonna go in Pro's direction. All right, so that means back neck and neck again, 4-4. Getting into our next round, B.o.B. Arena featuring Chris Brown. Here we go.
If anybody feeling fresh in the building, take your hand, hold it high to the ceiling right now, and say, damn, I'm killing them, damn, I'm killing them. I know they feeling me now. And if you're too fresh in the building, then take your hand, hold it high to the ceiling right now, and say, damn, I'm killing them, damn, I'm killing them. I know they feeling me now.
And I'm still here with a lifestyle you would kill for. Still here with the same shoes that I had on from the get-go. Straight out of Atlanta, Georgia, for any of y'all that didn't know. And I'm never that hard to find because 420 is my zip code. But back then couldn't get drove, cause back then I was this broke. That's why I got so many hustles. Bruh, man, from the fifth floor. What would you do in the middle of the winter when the sun goes down and it gets cold? Growing up in a house with no stove, no doors, no walls, no windows. And my brother was always special. I would go to school in his clothes when I did go. So that's why now this is the type of life that I live for. Coming up as a youngin', man, some nights I would vomit, I would throw up on myself cause I was so sick to my stomach. Now I'm the shit, fix the plumbing. Bear with me, y'all, I'm this close. Spent my whole life chasing chips, where's Nabisco? My past memories, I miss those. But hey, all I can say is you get what you wish for.
If anybody feeling fresh in the building, take your hand, hold it high to the ceiling right now, and say, damn, I'm killing them, damn, I'm killing them. I know they feeling me now. And if you too.
Side note, my college roommate used to play GTA all the time, and he would play that song in the background while using the cheat codes to kill everybody. Damn, I'm killing. Yeah, for me, that fixes the issue we were talking about in both of us, where it's a mesh of the two, but it's a lot more smoother of a transition from hook to chorus. All right, going up against Murked Part 2 by Pro.
He think he big meat. Larry Hoover. Flipping work, got him hit with the Ruger. Chasing dough, trying to make a pizza pimp. Nice brains blow, tomato sauce on the deep dish. We invincible till we get made invisible. This here is not difficult, everybody is killable. You in these streets every day while the world turns. That'll put you in the ground like an earthworm. See in this concrete jungle, Satan is the zookeeper. Put us on display and turn our pain to entertainment, bro. Rappers manufacture stories they ain't never lived that out. Then our children listen, emulate it just so they can bow. Now he say a goon and got the 9 on him. Whip work, serve to the fiend so he can shine on him. Buy that clean Chevy, bend some corners just to flown it. Till he get hit with the Mac with no you say you in the kitchen steady whipping. About to make the killing. Hit that street to stack money to the ceiling, boy. Gotta get your head bust. Get your head bust. Get your head bust. Get your head bust. You going hard for
Murked Part 2 by Pro going up against Arena by B.o.B and Chris Brown. What you got, Isaac?
Okay, so Arena's the clear winner here. That thing felt radio from start to finish there. I will say Merck felt like it belonged on a trailer to a movie about basketball. Like, I could see Jordan just, like, dunking all day with that in the back. That's what that was. Exactly. But Arena's the clear radio hit.
Yeah. So only based on the criteria, I also got to agree with Isaac here. If we were doing it more like on personal judgment, it would be a more closer tie for me. But definitely if we're only strictly going for the radio executive criteria, Arena takes the cake here. Merked, though, I do like the Flight of the Bumblebee sample. I do like how he was going, he think he big meech, woo. That woo ad-lib was really good. And then the click-clack gun right before the verse, perfect. All right, anyway, so that means B.o.B, I think, goes up in bid lead again, 5-4. So let's get into the next round, Going In by Pro.
Casket, trading in my tuxedo for this unashamed tee. Reppin' for my king, though I was dead and broke it to my maker. He made me alive. 2 bolts in my neck. You can't call me Frankenstein. I'm set a blaze, hollow fire with a flame, and I'm not from the loop, but I got clear sight. People see the way that we be living in the shame, and they make them wanna ride. That's why we fight. Why would I ever change my endeavor? Turn away from the fate, I say never. Trials to the face is making me better. You can hate all you want, but I better keep my nose to the ground so long as the spirit live in me. The fruit I bear is proof he's there. To the fire purging me. They look and stare, but I ain't scared. Ain't no way they murking me. And if they do, his word is true. Boy, his blood has purchased me. I'm
Going In by Pro up against Out of My Mind by B.o.B.
I'm out of my mind, out of my mind. I'm out of my mind, out of my It's B.o. I'm out of my B, out of my I'm out of my mind, out of my mind. I'm out of my mind. G got it, oh my. I was doing fine once upon a time. Till my brain left and it didn't say bye. Don't look at me wrong, I'm out of my mind. Like Nostradamus and Da Vinci combined. So paranoid of espionage. I'm watching my doors and checking my blinds. My brain's on vacation, they're telling me. And I'm bipolar to the severity. And I need medication apparently. And some military convulsive therapy. I am a rebel, but yes, I'm so militant. Still eligible for disabilities. I am psychotic, but there is no remedy. This is not figurative, this is literally. If these boys go dumb, I go to the mental facility. See, man, I'm so out there, I slap eyes with E.T. I don't need a feature, they don't want me eat them, I like heart when I'm on this beat. If you feel the same as me, then you gotta agree. I'm out of my mind, out of my mind, out of my mind. I'm out of my mind, out of my I'm out of my mind, out of my I'm out of my mind.
What's your name, B.o.B, so they calling you Bob? Stop playing, though, you know that I'm known for the Bob. Couple hit songs, got you thinking you a heartthrob. Well, this thing sound good, make a dog I wanna solve.
All right. You know, Nicki always has to add that ad-lib in. All right, Out of My Mind by B.o.B with a little bit of Nicki Minaj up against Going In by Pro. I gotta say, I liked the reversal beat effect on Going In. It kind of sounded like the beat was constantly being looped back in reverse, but still like consistent with the flow pattern. However, if you're not a fan of repetitive hooks, I'm not going to suggest either one of these songs to you. If we're going by verses, though, I did find B.o.B's flow more enjoyable, but I did find Pro's, how should I say, aggression a little more impactful, too. So this is coming down to the verses for me. Actually, you know what? if I'm taking production into perspective, even though that hook sounded all over the place, I still feel like there's still a little bit enough of a pop touch in there to make Out of My Mind the more clear radio hit. But what about you?
Oh, geez. Out of My Mind was a little bit too all over the place, I think. If I'm thinking radio, then I'm thinking what, like the general populace or like what most people, even if you're doing hip-hop radio, I felt like that was a little too repetitive, at least the beginning there, and you'd probably have to do some creative editing for the intro there. I felt like it came in a little slow. And then going in, I felt like he went in so deep, I don't know if he's going to make it back out. These two also, maybe I'm just being stingy with it, but I think they both kind of cancel out for me.
Yeah. I was almost there with you, to be honest. But that means that I get to decide and vote once again, so that means B.o.B's at 6 now. Pro still on 4. All right, so let's get into the next round. Never Let You Go by B.o.B and Ryan Tedder of One Republic.
1, 2, 3. They can take these clothes off my back. They can take my money, don't care about that. Let them take my words, all I've got. They can have this fame, it ain't worth a lot. Only thing I know is I'll never let you go. By the look in her eyes, I can tell that she knows that she's holding the fate of my world in her hands. Damn, for real, this was never the plan. It was never intended for her to end up the defendant. I guess it just happened by chance. Damn, and you hoping that a miracle happens. You pray that the judge doesn't bang that gavel so you can go back and avoid a disaster. And you can still be holding her hand, like the last note of the saddest song, and like the last word at the end of a poem. You know, it's nothing worse than being alone. It's funny how you never know what you got till it's gone. They can take these clothes off my back. They can take my money, don't care about that. Let them take my words, all I've got. They can have this fame, it ain't worth it.
I appreciate B.o.B in using enlightened terms and questions that most average rappers in mainstream tend to not use. Anyway, that was Never Let You Go by B.o.B and Ryan Tedder of One Republic. Kind of sounded like, if you took, like you were saying, I would put it more in the essence of like a Philip Phillips type of melody and blend it into like a hip-hop rising effect. Going up against So Far Gone by Pro and Naya.
I feel good. But blew it, they say it's okay to sin. Just make sure that you don't abuse it. Now I'm out here on this island by myself. All that's left is this Buddha on my breath. Can't you see I'm tasting death? I know that it's pure evil. It consume all my people. They act like it's not illegal. That's why I'm feeling this needle. First time I did it, I was gone. Now I'm on. Got this feeling in my bones, and it won't leave me alone. At first I thought it was cool. Now I just feel like a fool. Cause I am a slave to you. For you, there's nothing I won't do. There is nothing I won't sell. This gon' send me straight to hell. I try fixing it myself, but every time I always fail. That's why I'm
so far, far, gone, so far, I'm surrounded by darkness, live my life with the heartless. I've been chasing what I feel, Lord, that's why I am so far, gone.
So Far Gone by Pro and Naya up against Never Let You Go by B.o.B and Ryan Tedder of One Republic. Whew, that's a mouthful. Isaac, you got the first vote here.
Yeah, I'd have to say the clear radio winner is B.o.B there. It had such a good feel to it the whole time. It felt like good background noise, which is ultimately what radio ends up being. Pro came in with a good sound. It wasn't a bad song. I feel like though that's another one of those good concert songs where it's like, you know, all right, you opened it up, you know, put some energy out there, and this is where you start like kind of cooling things down before you amp it up and like end of the show. So I felt like that was good to have in your repertoire, but not the best like radio background sound.
Interesting. I kind of feel the opposite. I did feel like Pro did still manage to keep a deep topic over a sort of radio sound. Clearly more niche radio, not like mass radio as Never Let You Go would be. You definitely wouldn't find Pro song on pop radio. It'd be more like on a niche radio station. The other thing I would say about Pro song is, again, if you probably recognize the topic, he was talking about addiction. The first verse had to deal with drug addiction. Then later in the song, he moves to porn addiction, and then how we can't fix it ourselves. We need a savior to fix it all for us. So yeah, definitely nice building climax. I enjoyed Niall on the hook. I found her hook to be really nice and interesting. Never Let You Go has a nice bounce to it. I like its free-spirited effect. You can smile while listening to it. However, I don't see myself revisiting that song as much as So Far Gone, even though I love both. So I'm going to give that one to Pro. So that means you got B.o.B on that one, right? Mm-hmm. So that means we've got a tied vote on that one, which means B.o.B got 7 now? Or 6.
It was at 6-4. And then
so 6-5. No, 7-5. Yeah, 7-5. There we go. All right, so upcoming round, we got Pro and Rio with No Limits.
We know that you on our side. We go. Ain't no limit to where we go. If we let you have control, ain't no limit, no. I'm looking down on the sky, soaring out of the atmosphere. Let me educate you, boy, if you don't know what's happening here. I've been riding in my lane ever since I let them steer. Leaving all my troubles, I don't plan on going back this year. Success the only option, no matter what you tell me. Kick Freddy out my dreams, no nightmare on Elm Street. Couldn't beat this kryptonite, I used to be a loser. Hooked on Lex Luthor, now I'm super duper. Hooked up in community, a click of ex-dead men. Now we marvel at his glory, you can call us X-Men. I been called to duty, Christ made me a soldier. Even though I'm winning, he own the controller. You know that you on our side. We go, ain't no limit to where we go. If we let you have control, ain't no limit, no. Now I ain't mystical, but I ain't the same since state of emergency. You can
No Limits by Pro and Rio. I remember saying this to another guest on a former show. It kind of reminded me, like, you know, those old background singers back in the day who would do this? Yeah. Like, that's the type of beat that it made sense for me.
There was definitely a hype man kind of sound where like, it's like a group, like you're kind of getting hyped with like more than one people. That's not just like one person like singing to you. That's like there's something, that's a bop, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, this is going to be going up against Chandelier by B.o.B featuring Lariana May.
Hold me when I'm down, bury my soul underneath the ground. Let my blood keep pumping, my heart keep beating, shining like a chandelier.
What's a song if it don't have words? What's a word if it don't get heard? You can paint it any way that you like. How can you get the picture if it come out blurred? What life taught me can't be unlearned, and every bridge can't be unburned. You can't wait till you get your turn, like you're trying to make it home, but you're still on third. Look, your whole life need a renovation. Here, let me give you a demonstration. No limitations, no intimidations. I'm trying to live good, that's an understatement. They say life's about choices. In the face of defeat, I decline. Put your soul into everything, never back down. That's how you leave a legacy behind.
Hold me when I'm down, bury my soul underneath the ground. Let my blood keep pumping, my heart keep beating, shining like a chandelier. Hold
I think the rest of B.o.B's album is proving the same point of star power is not enough. Sometimes when you're meshing two different styles of hip hop, you have to have that smooth transition in there. And for some odd reason, it didn't work for the Taylor Swift song, but it's worked for every other song since. All right, so Chandelier by B.o.B and Lariana May up against Pro and Rio with No Limits. I'm going to make this short and simple. Chandelier hit it for me. No Limits, I've heard one too many radio hits like it, so I can't give it that same standout appeal as Chandelier. Even though Chandelier has like a very sort of UK pop or Emily Sandé type of vibe. UK, yeah. At the same token, the transitions were so smooth and the groove was just so much more clean. I got to give it to B.o.B. What about you?
Yeah, it was really good. You pulled that out. It didn't sound too like American. It had like a an overseas feel to it. I'm gonna have to give it to Chandelier with like a radio edit. Honestly, I feel like starting out too cold there wouldn't have hit the same way. So if you like start with it, the verse and then get to the chorus a little bit later, that's a radio hit right there.
Interesting points. All right, so that means we got a unanimous B.o.B vote on this one, which takes him up to 8. And Pro, now known as Derek Minor, still stuck on 5. Let's get to Circles by B.o.B.
Let's go. Hey. Where she at? Ha. You. There you go. Yeah. Well, she the type of girl try the whole hood crazy. Little Red Riding Hood riding M80s. The type of girl that'll probably be famous. Hollywood superstar magazine pages. Apparently she had a thing for it. Unfortunately, that wasn't me. Nowadays she's the life of the party. Glamorous and glossy, taking photos in the VIP. Now I'm like, damn, wow. Look at you now. You got the whole world chasing you down. Miss Mary Mac, y'all dressed in black, with a rude attitude, and tattoos down your back. But still you run circles through my head, There she goes again, and there she goes again. I just wanna get to know ya, but you turn the other shoulder, and there she goes again.
Circles by B.o.B. Again, I'm going to give you a second chance. Bonus points if you can mention the 2 samples used in that track.
Oh, no. No idea. Right over me.
The, look at you now. You got the whole world chasing you down. That's, he's got the whole world in his hands.
Okay, really? Okay, I felt that, but I was like, I don't know.
And then, of course, the obvious one, Miss Mary Mac.
Okay.
So take a little bit of Sunday school flair and nursery rhyme flair. I like it. Anyway, going up against Pro and PK One Day once again with Beautiful.
Something like my maker, I say you the best. I know you can't see it all by yourself, but you are beautiful. God ain't made you like anybody else. Don't let nobody tell you that you're anything less. 'Cause you are beautiful. You are beautiful. Yeah. She check out her reflection in the mirror, but some reason she don't see the beauty is in the picture. Thinking her image flawed, 'cause he ain't made her like those models, or her figure's a mistake. He only making Coke bottles. Nah, Coke bottles are plastic, mannequins are plastic, but you are fantastic. She don't believe it, so it's driving her insane. This diet don't seem to work, she eating to ease the pain. The world tell her that somehow she doesn't matter. Besides, the perfect girls live happily ever after. No idea she been crafted by the master. Uniquely in this image, baby, that is no disaster. Something like my maker, I say you the best. I know you can't see it all by yourself, but you are beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
So yeah, Pro and PK One Day with Beautiful addressing a girl with an eating disorder up against Circles by B.o.B, which is attractive girl in the hood who she had a thing for somebody. He just was unlucky that it wasn't him. I got to give this to Circles. I think Beautiful, again, similar vein to No Limits. I kind of felt like I've heard too many other radio hits like it, that it doesn't have that standout appeal to me. While Circles, I don't know in what universe does a nursery rhyme and a Sunday school sample work in a storyline like that, and B.o.B just made it works effortlessly. So I got to give that to B.o.B. What about you?
This is a tie for me. They sounded this like not the same, but like they both had the same type of appeal to me. I think lyrically they both like came out with like a good flow. Nothing was like too aggressive. They were both kind of head to head. Every time I was like, oh, maybe the other one, somebody would come in with something that just like felt good. Like both of those songs felt good to me. That's a positive tie for me.
Nice. All right, so that means unfortunately I got to overrule Isaac once again. So that takes B.o.B to 9 and leaves Derek Minor at 5. So let's see if Derek Minor can catch up in these last few rounds here. Going into Drink From His Cup by Pro, featuring Susie Rock, but now she's known as Natalie Lauren. Let's go.
Knocking at my door, yes, I know what they are here for. They kick it in, run inside, kidnap my wife, this is goodbye. I see hate inside your eyes, my God, and you do despise. If this prayer's my last time, hope through this he saves your life. I will never hide, I will never run, I will sacrifice my life in the name of the Son. Beat me to the ground, I see the glory of the Lord. This the moment that we all been waiting for. Let him stab me, burn me, you are worthy. Drown me, storm me, bruise me, hardly the pain I bear cannot compare to your arms once I get down.
So I'll be your voice, suffering daily, but still we rejoice. Out for your glory, just telling your story. We'll carry the cross. You suffer before me, people don't know you, so I'll be the one to introduce them to your glorious side. Until that day when we see your face, this race we will run, inspired by love. We'll drink from
Dead
this
sin, a
cup.
state of men, dirt and filth they lay with.
Drink From His Cup by Pro featuring Susie Rock, now known as Natalie Lauren. She has written a lot of your favorite Reach Records songs, by the way, over the years, so you should definitely check her out. All right, going up against Just a Sign by B.o.B.
Looking at the world through my rear view, searching for an answer up high. Or is it all wasted time? Everything is crumbling around me, feels like the ending of the times. Or is it all just a sign? I dozed off in my notebook, ever since never woke up. Hey, I've been traveling for lifetimes, still I got many miles before it's over. Yeah, I kept it 100 like I'm supposed to, but everything in the world ain't kosher. You see, it's crazy when your friends turn to strangers, but then strangers running up like they know you. And the further away from reality I go, I can feel the truth getting closer. But hey, it's the path that we all on. If you're in the fast lane or the slow one, and you might break down on the shoulder, you just gotta know who to call for the tow truck. I guess we all gotta exit to the next boulevard when the road's up. Looking at the world through my rear view, searching for an...
Just a Sign by B.o.B. up against Drink From His Cup by Pro and Susie Rock, now known as Natalie Lauren. This one, I gotta say, oddly enough, this is a deep dive reference. It kind of, B.o.B.'s one sounded like a Hillsong song matched with Love Bullets by Skylar Grey and will.i.am. I kind of felt like that would have made for a more beautiful blend, musically speaking. To me, again, it's too slow for radio, but I think it has way more mass appeal than Drink From His Cup does. Drink From His Cup, production-wise, almost had as smooth of production, low-key, as almost like Good Kid, Mad City by Kendrick Lamar. I think Kendrick would have made a much more interesting use of that production. But I respect Pro for taking the risk, and I feel like that song matched his overall concept much better. I kind of feel like he took a break for 2 quick radio hits and then went back to his original concept, because those 2 radio hits we just heard felt like out of place in the whole of the album. So I kind of feel like he should have released those as singles and then put the rest of the album just without those 2, to be honest. Just send those straight to radio. But I'm giving this one to B.o.B. What about you, Isaac?
That's a good point there about the album mix. It did feel kind of a little out of place compared to some of the other stuff. I'm actually going to have to give this, if we're going radio, to Pro. It had a bit more friendly appeal, that flow. B.o.B. came in just way too low key. I think thinking about radio, not just music, but thinking about how we consume radio, right? What are you listening to before? Either the DJ, pitching you something or telling you something about, concert tickets or whatever, or you're coming off of a run of ads. And when people are done with that, we're like, okay, we're done listening to you. Let's go. Give me some music. Let get it snappy. And B.o.B. just came in way too slow for it. It's a good song, but I wouldn't put it on radio. So, Pro.
Nice. So then that means we got another tied vote, which means B.o.B. gets to 10, Pro gets to 6. So it doesn't look like Pro's going to catch up, but let's see what happens. All right, getting into Castles by B.o.B. featuring Trey Songz.
Everything I ever said, everything that I have done, trying to show him it's my time, building mansions in my mind. Now that's also yesterday. I'm just lighting up my fire. Tell the world I'm saying goodbye. You ask me why. Yeah. I'm building castles in the sky.
Town in a looking like a demo rapper, feeling like a dusty wallet, getting fired, then higher, then refired. The idiot's guide to how to build an empire. I show you how to stunt, show you how to pop. Got a watch from my wrist and a watch from my pops. Balling from the baseline, bottom to the top. Got bullets on speed dial, yeah, I call shots. Now you can't act like you never heard of me, cause I'm so third degree, every day I'm burning leaves. I'm in my castle and I'm never coming down. They always said I had my head in the clouds. Ha!
Everything I ever said, everything that I have done, trying to show him it's my time, building mansions in my mind. Now that's also yesterday. I'm just lighting up my fire. Tell the world I'll say goodbye. I'm building
Castles by B.o.B. and Trey Songz going up against No One Greater by Pro.
Gentlemen, prepare to leave.
I am the herald of He who sits high and looks low. Bow in the presence of the Almighty, ruler of the universe, creator of all things, holy, righteous. May I go on?
There is no one greater, Elohim, the only creator. You sent your son to earth, he is our only savior. You are our only maker, all of the claimers are fakers. They try to take your glory, can't get in and lame. Break out they precious shoes, wear it and look something mean. But they cheap imitations, they gon' turn your name green. Wear my faith on my sleeve, even if they make me bleed. Let them take my life, I give you all of me. Omnipotent, omnipresent, you rule over earth and heaven. Time is on the body zone. You see past, future, and present. I don't deserve to know you, yet been given your blessing. You made me new and gave me life, I'm forever indebted.
compared to you, no, I see no one greater. Who can be compared to you, no, I see no one greater. Who can be compared to you?
No One Greater by Pro. I like how Isaac gave me that DMX reference all along throughout this show, because I kind of feel probably the new space I'm going to put Derek Minor Pro from now on is I kind of feel like he's the perfect mid-balance between DMX and Kanye West. So yeah, definitely fits in with that concept again for the rest of his record. But if we're going strictly radio, again, I got to give it to B.o.B. But me personally, I found Pros to be a way more interesting song and very climactic, even stadium-like, to be honest. What about you, Isaac?
Yeah. Again, I think between both of these albums, what I'm hearing is Pro definitely has a more of a concert feel. Like you said, stadium. You almost feel like you're there at a show. That's what this album feels like. Whereas Castles is definitely, designed more for like the radio, as B.o.B sounds like this whole album is more designed for radio. I'm definitely gonna have to give this one to Castles because like which one of those songs is gonna make money, right? But that's a great point there. I think one album feels like you're at a show, and the other one it feels like somebody putting on a show. If that makes a difference, Yeah.
That's a really great reference. I'm going to keep that one. I was joking. All right, so that means I think we got both Castles unanimous on that one, right?
Yes.
So B.o.B got 11. Pro still stuck on 6. All right, Pro. I hope we've done you justice, buddy, if you're listening. But we're getting into the final round here. There's no way for you to catch up. I hope you can get some consolation on this last round. All right, Never Back Down by Pro.
Hey, bro, you know which one of these sayings I hate the most, cuz? It's when they say if you scared, go to church. I don't know what they talking about, cause I ain't scared. Let's go. Hey, you can say what you say, but we ain't leaving here today. We never back down. Never back down. Hey, you gon' have to bring them choppers. You want in and hope to stop us. Hey, we never back down. Never back down. Hey, listen here, boy, I want you to hear me loud and clear. You can kick up all the dust you want, but we walk with no fear. Now when they murk us in Sudan, lock us up in Pakistan, still 10 toes down. What that mean? Stand, so I never back down. Hey. Put that on my mama. No way you gon' stop us. You gon' have to pop us. We stay unashamed even if you bring them choppers. And send this note to Congress, tell them that they ain't gon' block us. We in your school, in your hood, at your job. When we move where you move, for the cost we going hard. See, this gospel made us strong. We are nothing on our own. Fuego in our bones, and no pyro when I'm on. In the face of persecution, what's this that keep us moving? The fact we bought by Christ, ain't no way that he gon' lose us. Stay rooted in this truth, ain't no way you moving me. Till my heart get acapella. What you mean? No, hey, you can say what you say, but we ain't leaving here today. We never back down. Never back down. Hey,
Never Back Down by Pro up against B.o.B's finale to his record, Where Are You? B.o.B versus Bobby Ray.
Whatever happened to Bobby Ray? He used to be here for us. Then he got famous and left all of his fans in the dust. We never hear from you, you're constantly changing, and your relatives always miss you at family occasions, and your mother misses you too. Since all the fortune, you've been too busy recording. Now she feels unimportant, and your daddy's been going through it since he lost his mother. The least you could do is call him to show him you support him. I never thought you would sell out. You're becoming so cocky. I asked you for a picture after your show. You walk right by me. I'm like, ain't this the dude that said it ain't about the price tag? Now on your records, all that you do is brag. Come on, Bob. I thought you was better than that, dog. What happened to Cloud 9 and Generation Lost? You were my idol. Just when I thought I'd give up on everything, I heard you play this familiar melody. I heard you play this familiar melody.
My favorite B.o.B song of all time, Where Are You, B.o.B versus Bobby Ray, up against Never Back Down by Pro. I'll give one example for this to tie to the B.o.B song, is that similar to one of my favorite Alicia Keys songs, That's How Strong My Love Is, where she had all the production credits, all the songwriting credits, all the vocal credits. Same thing goes for here on this B.o.B song. He had all the credits making that song. So I'd definitely give, if we were to get like the root B.o.B with no outside influence, I think that's what B.o.B would truly sound like. Never Back Down. I love what Isaac said. It has that punch you in the face type of vibe. But do I think it's the strongest ending to an album? Of course, this is not including the bonus track, which you'll hear at the end. I don't think it's as strong of a closure as B.o.B's. I kind of feel like closures have to have some grit to them, but also have a sense of finality and calm to them as well. I think you should leave the hypes for either mid or beginning of your albums. The only thing that does not follow this rule, of course, would have to be like live shows. Live shows, I think, is when you save your hype for the grand finale and kind of blend it in between. But as far as like album listening is concerned, I do prefer my more deep retrospective outros. So based on that, I'm going to give points to B.o.B. What about you, Isaac?
Yeah, no, you definitely hit some good points there. I mean, as if we're playing radio exec still, B.o.B wins this round, but I definitely say that's not like a top 40 song. That's like on a dedicated R&B station somewhere. And then album-wise, I mean, I'm going to stick with it and say like one of these, B.o.B's album was definitely crafted to sound in such a way that you were meant to like sit down and listen to it, whereas Pro, you're meant to like hear that at a show. Like it definitely feels like each one of those songs is meant for a live audience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I definitely get that feel from it. You could tell that Pro definitely took a lot of his aggressive live performance personality and tried to put it into record form, but it does stand out more at the live show. I would definitely give points to you for that. So that means that in the end, B.o.B has taken it by a pretty large lead. What are your final thoughts on these two artists before we close out, and how much fun have you had on the show?
Oh my goodness, this was a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be. Even no, for real, this is good stuff. It's one thing to like always just hear stuff in the background, but like when you're sitting down, you're thinking about like, oh, what's actually which one of these songs is actually like put together better. Oh my goodness. I mean, as artists, I don't know. This was a tough one because like I feel like the albums were good to match to each other, but I feel like they're definitely different types of artists. Like I've never met these guys, but you can tell they have different backgrounds just from listening to them. So, I mean, final impression, this was super fun, and it was cool to see, if anything, the real contrast and comparison that we saw and heard here wasn't just like East Coast, West Coast, or genre against genre. It was like one person's background of what they're trying to tell you versus a different person's background of what they're trying to tell you, and that was really cool to hear.
The question I always end every show with, will you ever come back in the future if I'm still in the area?
Of course. Yeah.
All right, so there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Isaac has had so much fun that he can come back, God willing. Anyway, ladies and gents, it's been fun. It's been real. Take care. We're going to end the show, as you'll hear in the final edit, with Round of Applause by Lecrae and B.o.B. I don't know if you guys knew they did a song together. And then also that's going to be followed up with the bonus track that we didn't get to on the Dying to Live section, which is Get Buck by Pro, now known as Derek Minor, featuring Chad Jones, Tony Tillman, and Cannon. All right, take care, y'all. Peace.
It's for all my folks who got legal jobs. B.o.B. what's up?
That's back.
We ain't supposed to be here, never thought we'd see it. Now we living proof, tell the world to believe it. Yeah. Congratulations, thank God we made it. They told us we was nothing, now I know they hate it. Round up applause, round up applause. Congratulations, we beat the odds. Round up applause, round up applause. Congratulations, we beat the odds. I ain't supposed to be nothing but a dope dealer, but I hope killer. Supposed to brag on the guns and the coke kilos, dropping mollies in a coke zero. Ashamed of my education, that I'm finally off probation, that I quit smoking, got a wife and kids, and I'm a real father, no faking. See, I'm a black man who beat them. Supposed to be locked up with no job. Never should've went to college or learned who God is. You added up, it's all. See, I never knew my pops. I've been abused, ran from the cops. I went to school, I on them crops. Wasn't a thug, never been shot. Running from God, man, turning my back. Never would've made it, Marvin said, but he opened up my eyes and I can't look back. While they look surprised, I just tipped my cap. Yeah, he did it, he did it. He changed me and I'm with it. He made me what I'm supposed to be. You get close to me, you might get it.
We ain't supposed to be here, never thought we'd see it. Now we living proof, tell the world.
I'm supposed to be dead or in jail right now.
Congratulations.
But instead I'm sharing my gift with the world.
They told us we was nothing, now I know they
Turn up.
Round up applause, round up applause. Congratulations, we beat the odds. Round up applause, round up applause.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I ain't even supposed to be here. I ain't even supposed to be living. Yeah, the world is set up for me to be dead broke or somewhere locked up in prison. Yeah, I know they be watching. Okay, and yeah, I know they be listening. And yeah, I know the hip hop police probably plotting for me to be missing and cover it up with the cliche okie doke and blame it on the pain pill overdose. From the city where they love to hate, but I still got love for my homies though. 'Cause they don't wanna see us ball out, but we do it anyway. Got a meal in the bank, another two up in the safe. 'Cause I do it every day. Know me, ain't no rumors in the A. All they say is that I could have fooled in the A. Don't assume anything, I'm a fool with the pay. I be doomed to your daylight.
We ain't supposed to be here, never thought we'd see it. Now we living proof, tell the world.
I'm supposed to be dead or in jail right now.
Congratulations.
But instead I'm sharing my gift with the world.
They told us we was nothing, now I know they
What's up?
Round up applause, round up applause. Congratulations, we beat the odds. Round up applause, round up applause. Congratulations, we beat the odds.
Now she used to strip at Onyx, working her way through college, trying to put food in her son's mouth, on the pole for them dollars. She was looking for some solace. Told the Lord, I promise, I'm headed to the hills with my heels on, where the fields ain't attached to the billfolds. No cotton fields from no Uncle Phil, just Phil Jackson, coach her, and get her out that game where they losing their dignity for a coach first. No skirts, just skirt. Found another way around the road work, and left that fine establishment. It's like her whole life is having a growth spurt. She out the game and they hate it. Mad at her, she made it. They ain't nothing but some shellfish in a bucket. Probably get crabs if you touch it. Now she graduated from college, scratch that, graduated with honors. Little man got a little cap and gown, looked at him matching his mama. Yeah.
We ain't supposed to be here.
Round of applause to all the ladies out there who didn't let anybody tell them what they could or couldn't be. And they kept their dignity while doing it. Congratulations. Proud of you, mama. Yeah.
Round up applause, round up applause. Congratulations, we beat the odds. Round up applause, round up applause. Congratulations, we beat the odds.
So they say reach for the stars. So I figure I'd do it, Reach Records. Church closed too. The #1 co-signer, Don Cannon. Shout to the whole academy. Mr. Thanksgiving, what's up? Trendsetter, what's up, homie? Kevkin Lake Show. Shout to Double O and Pat. V Tweezy. D Rich, holla at me. K.E., get me right real quick.
The Kraken.
Everybody, get fucked with that.
killing myself. Where my soldiers stand, right here, give our life for the cause. We ain't got no fear. Yeah, I know it. We marching strong, boy. We got our armor on. We gon' set it out till we finally see our father through.
Truth in 3D, clear. No glasses though. Your vision's jacked up. Kaleidoscopes. We going home. What's the big hurry? The truth sweet, black and white. McFlurry. See, sin is like the water cycle, evaporated, come right back. Raining down on everybody, flood the earth. Just check the map. Make us wanna get the cash, stacking checks, true collectors. But we showing His glory. New projectors.
We ain't going. We give our life for the gang, yeah, you know. Feel the same and get fucked with that. Get fucked with that. Get fucked with that. Get fucked with that. Now give me elbow. Give me elbow. Now give me elbow. Give me elbow. Everybody get fucked with that. Get fucked with that. Get fucked with that. Get fucked with that.
Everything I have, I lose. And trust in the cross, I got something to gain. And nothing to lose. I give up my life for the cross, and nothing's the same. I'm letting them rule, cause living my life on my own can bring nothing but pain. Nothing but strain, nothing can change. I pour out my life and now nothing remains. Yeah, I'm just a vessel for the master's use. Giving my life for the faith, I just wanna imitate everything that the master do. Getting bucked cause I'm saved through the master's grace. Walking in love through the master's truth. Can't wait till I see my master's face. Tell the whole world I'm passion.
You with the brothers who been living in the same in the gospel. Anybody willing but to get it with a father. Perfect model. For the father we would take gunshot. Puck up. Can nobody tell me that the brother never died in the grave, never living in the sin up high. You get high, but I'm like dinner no lie. When I'm coming, get about my lane, pros hard in the pain, tab zones, brother songs blowing up like Bane. Who's I'm coming in and running, they beginning and believing